What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with another with the season 4 premiere of BMF. Okay, I like BMF. Okay, I'm telling y'all this. I told y'all, as I stated in my last video, I have always watched BMF since season 1, so I'm a fan. So this what y'all need to know: Charles Raw Dog Flannery. That's his name here. That's going to be his name. Charles Raw Dog Flannery. Until we change it to something else. Lucille. Lucy Goosey. We about to give my girl the honor and the respect. Because y'all, after that man played her to the left and lied to her last season, okay? That still rubbed me the wrong way. You understand? So, Lucille, baby, we about to give her the honor and respect of Reverend Pastor Evangelist Lucille Flannery. Okay? That's why we at. That's what it is. Y'all, it is so humid out here. I've not been... I don't come home often, but, yeah, it's a little out here. Anyway, season 4, episode 1, graduation day. So the episode starts with Meech and Terry 6 months ago. Y'all know they was in Mexico. They getting shot at this point, and they with the dude Marco. So Meech takes a leak and he gets bit by a snake. And so we fast forward to 6 months later in Detroit. Terry is at a gambling house and he meets with Amani. Now, Amani looks like Fawn Watkins, and y'all know that's Farnsworth Bentley's wife, but that was the girl that was on Bring It and White Chicks. And so I think that was her, but that looks exactly like her. She extends Terry a personal invite to her private party because Terry is a big spender, and we get down to why Terry is spending so big. It's apparent that what's his name, y'all? Jay Pusher from last season, who Meech and Terry met up with, I want to say in St. Louis. He owed Terry money, and Jay Pusher is adamant about, I'm not giving you your money. I'm waiting for Meech, and then I give y'all what I owe y'all. But we find out that Meech is MIA. Meech ain't been back. Terry been in Detroit for 6 months. Meech still somewhere in Mexico. So that's been a question throughout this throughout this episode. So Terry's been saying he's been gambling to make up for all the losses, because Jay Pusher ain't been paying him. So in the next scene, Lucille gets a visit from the church elder. I forgot the lady name. But she tells Lucille that the current pastor is very ill, and so she needs to step down, and we need somebody to take her place. So she tells her that the board wants to interview her for lead pastor. She tells Lucille, we're just gonna call her Lucille for now. She tells Lucille that, listen, you know the Bible front and back, okay? And she tells her the interview is tomorrow. So Lucille was like, listen, Nicole, graduation is tomorrow. And so the elder was like, Lucille, children are a heritage from the Lord. And they have a donor that's coming on Sunday, and they need to have a new pastor in a pulpit. And if she said, we just need to know if you're ready to fly this plane or not. Okay, is you ready to do this or not? Okay, I was like, so I thought when I saw it, I was like, well, surely y'all, this lady's supposed to miss her daughter's graduation. Got a problem with that, but no, So the lady was like, it was just I'm sorry, y'all. I just have to say this. It just felt manipulative, like. I get that you have a daughter. It just, to me, it felt like, she was saying, like, I get that you have a daughter, but we have to come first. You have to do this for us. This matters more. That's how it felt to me. But I'm going to leave it there. So Terry calls Jay Pusher on the phone about his money. And he tells Terry, he basically shitted on Terry. He basically disrespected Terry. Like, F you and that money, I ain't got nothing to say to you until Meech come back. Terry is very disrespected. Like, a lot of people don't respect him. They only respect Meech. And so he said, if you want your money, come to the Lou and get it. And so he's not... He's saying, I'm not paying you until I hear from Meech. So at this point, is Meech missing? What really happened in Mexico after he got bit by that snake? We know that nothing happened, but we need to know what's happening. So Terry is really tight-lipped about what's happening because Lucille asked Charles Raw Dog Flannery asked. And even the homeboys, the posse, everybody keep asking, like, what's going on with Meech? Crickets. So, in the next scene, we hear somebody singing, we shall overcome. Listen, they spent that camera. Baby, it was my man Lamar. But I tell you, I really like y'all to know. I just really want y'all to know that his whole physique is that guy. He done got bulkier, okay? He been in the gym. I follow him on Instagram. I love him. Listen, if anybody know him, y'all tell him I could go over to Africa, okay? I would like to be flued out. So y'all let him know that Kiwan J is coming. So and I didn't know he can sing. I did not know he can sing. So he is at an AA house. Apparently he's been there, I want to say, for like 3 months recovering. Because y'all know the last time he turned into a crackhead. I was like, oh, okay. And he's finally graduating today. He talks about all of his struggles. So they played a montage of all the people, the people he unalived. And, he shot at, the stuff him and Meech, he was having between Meech and Terry and all of that. And he said nothing would ever beat him again. Because y'all remember he had that colostomy bag. And he was with that. He ended up being with that big girl. And then we actually see her this season. Yeah, so, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what's his place there. Kind of like Joey Badass in Raising Kanan. Like, it's like, what is his place there? It's like we knew what they were there for prior, but now it almost feels like those two guys are out of place on both shows. And that's just how I see it. So I really thought we got rid of Markeisha, but of course Markeisha is back, okay? She said, she goes to Terry's and she said, I want my own independence, and she wants to start her own thing. So of course Terry shits on her, but the way, I would say this, the way he shit on Markeisha in that moment, that's how everybody treats him. So he tried to treat Markeisha the same way. So she was like, you know what, I'm out. And, she left. She wanted to get in the game because she wanted to make her own money. She didn't want to have to rely on a man. She relied on her husband, her baby daddy. What's his name? Block. I'm sorry, it is not Block. His name is Boom. And y'all know Boom is in jail. And so Terry downplays her. She was like, you know what, bet, I'm going to get it myself. I'm going to do what I need to do myself. I got connections. But she also reminded Terry how much she has helped him and Boom. But y'all mean to tell me I'm good for helping y'all, but I'm not good. Y'all don't think I'm good enough to start my own thing. Bet. So in the next scene, we see Charles Raw Dog Flannery. Okay, listen, I love Charles Raw Dog Flannery. Okay, so he in the house playing his guitar. Lawanda, y'all know she went to Lawanda's in cosmetology school. Okay, she said, "Baby, I don't have time to be playing with Left Eye." Okay, Left Eye is Terry. She ain't got time to be playing with Left Eye. Okay, I'm gonna get my own stuff. I'm gonna do my own thing. And she's sitting in there doing Nicole's hair, and Lucille is prepping for her interview. So she finished Nicole's hair, and I was like, okay, I think, all right. So Nicole was like, listen, I want it to look like this, and you got me looking like a chicken. And so she was like, no, I don't. Girl, you need to brush up on your skills, Lawanda, okay? Like, I wouldn't let you do my hair, baby. The only thing you can do is put a ponytail in my head, okay? So Terry walks in the door. He tells Nicole she looked like Tito Jackson. And they start, Lucille asks about Meech. Lucille and Raw Dog asked about Meech. And he brushed him off. He was like, Meech is good. He's still in Mexico, and they wanted to know, was he okay? And he was like, they good. So he gave Nicole a necklace. It was a really pretty necklace, a pretty stone necklace. And he gave it to her for her graduation, as a graduation gift. And so Lawanda was like, well, if you're going to pick up something, pick something up for your baby mother, okay? And so he was like, whatever, Lawanda. And so Lawanda tells Terry to pick something up for her. No, I just said that. Lucille said, you know what, y'all, I'm late for my meeting. So, of course, Nicole, it's the morning of, and Nicole is getting ready for her graduation. Now, if y'all notice Nicole's face the whole time, she was aggravated. She was, she was just seemed like she was just aggravated this entire time. And plus, my other brother isn't here to see this, So Charles pulled Left Eye Terry to the side and asked about Meech. Terry tells him, he's safe. He's still in Mexico. And so Raw Dog was like, all right, bet. If this what you're saying, then this what it is. So we get to Lucille. She's in her interview. And, of course, they bring up the fact that she's divorced. And, both of her sons are drug dealers. Child, she said she just basically, I just want to meet the people where they are. And my divorce and my boys have nothing to do with me giving the word. That's actually my personal opinion. I just feel like when God gives you something, it doesn't have nothing to do with everything else. Why do I have to have somebody attached to me in order to bring forth the word or to be in this position? Like, I don't understand that. That's why sometimes you see a lot of people who are in those places, like first ladies and whatever, they're not happy. A lot of people underneath all of that, they're not happy, because we didn't sign up for that. So the fact we see newly divorced Lucille as a pastor, that means she's doing something right. Her and Charles, I will say, it is all about example. What example do y'all display? So her and Raw Dog, they have a co-parenting thing. They still live together, but they get along. They really get along, not for the sake that they have little kids, but because they both are emotionally available, and so they both get along. Charles go out and he's on a tour. He's touring and out on the road, and the only thing, Lucille is still so independent. And Lucille will be working my nerves, because I did wanted to say, when Nicole got that necklace, the first thing she did was took that necklace and said, Terry, you didn't have to get her that. Why? It's that mentality that she got. Y'all, Pastor Lucille finna work my nerves. I can tell y'all, this season, she fits to work my nerves. So, in the next scene, Terry is telling, homeboy, that he need his money. And now, he was telling the boys, like, hey, I need my money. he still don't want to pay or whatever. Everybody know what's going on. They just don't know what happened with Meech. And Terry has not disclosed anything to anybody. And I'm sure we're going to find out why. So this dude walk in, one of his workers came in to give him his money, and he got on all blue, black. He just colorful. And what we noticed was Terry and his boys, they got on all black. So they all color coordinated in one uniform. So Terry was like, listen, if you work for me, you're going to have to put on black. Like, you're going to have to be in one accord. We all one band, one sound. Okay? And so he was like, so how I'm going to get a woman being one band, one sound with all black? Baby, you got to pimp it up. You got to spice up that black. Okay? So in the next scene, Markeisha goes to the jail to go see Boom. And, she butters him up. Oh, we still married. I still love you after you just went and dipped the load and spread it like wide. But isn't over here. But me in jail was beating on you. So I get it. Your husband, your still husband, was beating on you. She asked him for an infusion. He tells her, where to start. Hey, he was like, I ain't got nothing. And you got to go check with Isaac. And so she was like, all right. And he said, this is what I need to tell you. Keep your eyes open and your legs closed. Okay. So we find out, Markeisha presents Nicole. She comes downstairs in her cap and gown. Very nice moment. Very cute. We find out that Nicole is the only Flannery. Is it Flannery? Flannery that graduated. She tells her, she then tells Nicole, I know you wish Meech was here, yada yada yada. And yeah, it was a cute moment. They took a picture. LaWanda took a picture of them together, with Nicole, with Raw Dog and Lucille. And so let's just kind of pause that right here, and let's talk about these hairstyles Miss LaWanda been having. Okay, I think she been hitting a mark on those 90s hairstyles, but I was like, listen, LaWanda, I don't know. But she's been hitting the mark on the 90s hairstyles. I just need them to be a little bit harder, or I need you to do a bun, and oh no. I don't think it was still stacks or nothing like that. I think that was the 80s. So in the 90s, we started doing ponytails. But then I wonder if it was like everything was different in different states, different locations, Anyway, I will say this. In real life, the young lady that plays Nicole, she graduated last year. I don't know if she had a bachelor's or master's, but she graduated last year. I want to say from an HBCU, and she's a Delta. Okay, shout out to the Deltas, shout out to that HBCU, and shout out to the girl who played Nicole, because I forgot her name. If y'all did not know that, I follow her too. So Markeisha goes to see Kiki. Kiki was Isaac's side piece. We found out that Isaac didn't leave his wife. He left her high and dry. He was supposed to pay for her college tuition. He didn't pay for nothing. He left the state with his family and left her to fend for herself. I can't even feel sorry for her. So Markeisha said, listen, I know that you're not in the best of terms with him, but if you can just give me a phone number on Isaac's information, I won't even tell him where I got it from. But if you do that for me, I will front you the money so you can go to college. So she was like, why are you trying to help me out like that? Markeisha was like, because I want women like us to get ahead in this life. And I wasn't mad at Markeisha for that. I hope she comes on. I hope she's a woman of her word, but I wasn't mad at Markeisha for that. Now, I will say this. The woman who played Kiki actually looked like the daughter that played on Beyond the Gates. The oldest daughter, the one who played Danny and what's his name daughter. I don't know. That looks exactly like her. Okay. So we at the graduation party. Charles, bragging. He not bragging, but his cousin's asking him questions. He's telling them, they laughing and getting a good kiki, telling them how, the different people that he met out on the road, right? So Nicole, not Nicole, Lucille grabs the mic and was like, y'all having a good time, yada, yada, yada. She prays over the food, and then she hands Nicole the mic to give, to speak her speech. So Nicole thanks her mom and dad and her brothers for helping her get this far. And so as she's speaking her speech, who comes in? Meech. Who is pissed? Terry. Okay, he is visibly pissed. But everybody else is happy to see Meech because it's like, where was he? And so you can literally cut the tension with a knife. So Lucille was like, aren't you going to speak to your brother? And he ain't saying nothing. So they looking at each other like what the hell happened in New Mexico? Why y'all mad at each other? So he was like, okay, I got a gift for you. So he wanted to take Nicole outside. Meech bought a gift for Nicole. And so in walks in, what's his name? B Mickey. Y'all remember B Mickey. B Mickey used to work for him, but then B Mickey started working for Detective Van. That's his name. Detective Vine. Y'all remember he was played by a homeboy last season. Oh, he been, all seasons. His son was unalive last season in jail. Anyway, B Mickey walked in, and B Mickey's baby mom and little girl, they walked in Nicole's graduation party. So none of them not really feeling B Mickey except for Lucille and Charles, because I don't think they know what happened. But he hands Nicole a gift, a card made, possibly with money in it, because he's trying to right his wrongs with the brothers, but they ain't really got nothing for him, because of course he was one of the, he was working with it was forced to work with him because they was helping him pay for his mom's they forced his hand because it was I want to say his mom was sick, and so they was paying for that or whatever, I don't know. But in the next scene, we go outside and he bought Nicole a car that looked like one of the old Toyota Corolla. It looks just like but it looks, when you look at the Toyota Corollas now, even when you look, you looking at it like, look at that old ass car. Why you bought that girl that? But in reality, in the TV reality, that was actually a brand new car. Okay, it wasn't as sleek as it was now. So in the next scene, we find out Jay Pusher had already paid Meech his money because he found out Meech was back. Meech contacted him, and it's apparent that Meech is back to take over. Terry is pissed, and they start the tussle. Okay, I'm so over them two fighting. Like, all they do is fight. Like, stop. So a gift came. Lucille thought it was for Nicole, so she hands her the gift. Nicole's opened a card and was like, she was excited, and she was like, oh, this is for you from the congregation to Pastor Lucille. And Lucille was like, Lord, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord. Listen, they done made my girl a pastor. You understand? I'm not mad at that. So she goes into the room. She opens it up, and they gave her a pretty white robe. And so Nicole tell her, well, we both have robes now. And so Pastor Lucille was like, listen, I'm going to go in my room and try it on. And Charles was like, you know what? Congratulations. He was really happy for Lucille. Like, he wasn't like, oh, Lord, or nothing like that. He was just really happy for Lucille. So Charles, because so Raw Dog poured some wisdom into Nicole, wisdom and energy into Nicole. And I hate that her day, even though we was happy to see Meech, it was just interrupted what else she wanted to say. So she was going to tell them in her speech that she got a full ride scholarship from Morris Brown. So she told Raw Dog, she said, listen, you don't have to worry about, like, you don't have to worry about, how you're going to pay for my college, because I was going to tell y'all before Meech came that that I received a full ride to attend Morris Brown. And he was just so proud of her in that moment. And I was like, okay, I wasn't mad at that. So Charles tells Nicole that he's back on tour and he's leaving next week. And then back as Meech is driving, Meech meets with Terry in the next scene to give him his money that he had been asking for. And so somebody started firing shots. And they ducking and dodging. They got they blickies out and they popping back. And so lo and behold, it's Lamar. Okay, y'all, he back. All right. And they ran out of bullets. Meech and Terry ran out of bullets. So right before he was about to blast them, who else come and shoot Lamar right here? B. Mickey. And so B. Mickey show up and he hit Lamar. And so he wanted to talk to Meech and Terry. And they was like, no, we don't with you no more. Like, what you did was unforgivable, and we don't with you no more. And they left the police. You can hear the police siren. They left, and B. Mickey ran and left. So when the camera turned back to Lamar, it had blood stains laying right down the ground, and of course he was gone. Y'all know, bad grass never die fast. Okay, he gonna be on here. All right. So in the next scene, we back at this at an AA meeting, and I think it was a meeting for people who lost their kids, to violence. And so there was this guy talking. He shared what happened to his son and how, shots was fired, and his son didn't have anything to do with anything. He was an innocent bystander, and he lost his life. And so we see Detective Vaughn, but apparently on there his name was Mark. And it was like, Mark, would you like to go next? I said, So he gonna be back on here. Y'all know, needless to say, his little girlfriend was unalived by your girl with the goals. Okay, what was her name? Brianna? No, that name wasn't Brianna. Damn, I forgot her name. But she got on my ever-loving nerves, okay? Braxton P. Hartnebrig niece. She got on my nerves. So, anyway, Meech is driving, and he's having a flashback from Mexico when he was bit by that snake. So it was a healer. He looks real bummy-like, but he was a healer that came with a chicken. He cut the chicken, put it on a bone, and put the chicken bone, he started speaking in Spanish, put the chicken bone on Meech's leg, and it healed that right up, and Meech just came back too. And so Terry was like, we Christians, we ain't supposed to be doing this, and we don't know what type of religion this is. And I was just like, Terry, don't y'all sell drugs? Okay, for me, I'm like, well, y'all drug dealers. So the fact that you got a man performing holistically on Meech to keep him alive, it don't really weigh. We Christians, but it's okay for y'all to sell drugs and shoot people and kill people. Okay, we're just gonna entertain the thought. Anyway, he starts to speak in Spanish, and he said Meech will be a legend. He said surviving, and so Meech gets out of his car. He's staring at this sign. Meech said he survived Mexico. Him surviving Mexico changed his life forever. He said it changed his life forever, and that he needs to be thinking bigger. So basically, he was like, you gotta think big, bitch. You gotta think big, bitch. You're thinking too small. And so this is where the episode ended, y'all. It was pretty good. Like, it was pretty good. This season premiere. season 4 premiere was pretty good. I want to say, y'all, I'm not sure, but I don't know if this gonna be their last season. This whole debacle with Meech and 50 Cent and his dad, and I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna come back. I still got more stuff to give y'all. It's just timing and everything, and I still have to do some homework. So I am also working on that. I have 3 assignments to do. So yes. Anyway, that is it. That is all. And I will see y'all in the next one. In the next video, y'all see, it's gonna be me and my little nephew. Okay, we're just gonna be chopping it up. So I need to find some ideas, see something what we gonna talk about, what's out there. So I gotta wait for him to get up, get ready, and get real cute. Okay, because I'm gonna tell y'all, my nephew is intelligent. He is that kid. All right. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.